Welcome to the Valve Studio for March 20th, 2016. It's Sunday here. I started out the morning by watching a video from the Indian Institute of Science on inductors. It's a very good video. It's an hour-long college-level lecture on inductors, and they go through a lot of the theory, and then they go into some specific examples. Now that's part of their series for switch power supplies, and so a lot of it's applicable to what we're doing here, because I want to get down to understanding that part of it, because at some point I want to wind my own transformers. And by talking to Patrick Turner in Australia, he said, you know, get to doing something, and then he recommended I start with a choke. So a power supply choke is typically in the 5 to 15 Henry range at between 75 and maybe 300 milliamps. So that's my goal, is to go ahead and take the coil winder, that project I was working on, finish that up, and wind a choke, and get some of my test equipment fleshed out to do inductive measurements. So in the meantime, I should have got AJ's amplifier on the bench, but I didn't do that because I want an overhead camera. I remember last time I talked about having an overhead camera on a slide, so that's what I started working on today. And so I'm going to mount it up here, and it's going to be on this. This is like extruded aluminum. This is 20 by 20 extruded aluminum, and it's going to slide back and forth on this way. And I started figuring out how to do that, and I'll go ahead and show you now what I came up with. I found this kit for sliding doors at Home Depot, and it's a rack up here with 2 hooks on it, and then you get these fixtures that you hook onto a door, and they slide in here back and forth. So what I need is something to hold these two apart while I kind of dangle a piece of extrusion down between them and kind of make a carriage to go back and forth on this rack. This rack was relatively inexpensive. It's 4 feet long. I think I got it for maybe $20 or something like that. I drew that up in FreeCAD. I'll go ahead and show you that model here. So it's got a little plane. It's got a back plane, and it's got a little cup to hold the extrusion in. And I'm going to put the screws, these M4 screws, through these holes and screw everything together. So this is going to dangle from the ceiling, basically. And then here's the next part I worked on. This is a slider that goes along the extrusion that holds the camera. And I have a ball joint camera mount that I got at Amazon, and I'm going to attach it to this sliding part that I made, so I can adjust the height, and then I can use the ball mount on the camera mount to adjust the angle. Here's that ball mount that I was talking about. So you can see it's got a ball here, and then you loosen this screw. If I can do this with one hand, let's see here. There we go. So this thing will move around to different places, and then it also rotates on this pivot here. It's really a flexible part. This thing is relatively inexpensive as well. The screws come through here and actually embed it into that side, and then I put the Allen wrench through this hole as well. And then this screw here is what actually clamps to the end of this, slides over the extrusion, and this little piece fits inside the slot on the extrusion, and I can just finger tighten this on, and it holds it in its vertical position. That's the camera mount. Over here, this is the first version of the part that I drew up today. I didn't look at these parts very closely before I got started. I was just really excited about 3D printing something. So I figured, all right, we'll put one on like that, and we'll put the, as you flip it over, put the other one on like that, and we'll be good to go. But if you look at these, they're not designed to go with the wheels on the inside. So I quickly figured out, well, this isn't going to work. This took about, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half to print. So that's now going into the, recycling bin. My second version is here, and I got three of the parts on it. And you can see that I got the spacing a little bit further apart, so I can come over here and show you this thing here. So I put that fourth wheel on there. It's really actually very stable, and it's very smooth. And my extrusion fits in this hole, and this thing dangles from the ceiling. It's going to go back and forth. And if I have problems with the tilt of the the plumb of the rod, I can use these leveling wheels to kind of rotate the part back and forth up in the channel. That looks all pretty good. We'll put it together, and we'll see if how it works. While those two parts were printing out today, I had a lot more time, and I spent that time reading over more about chokes as well as inductors, and trying to find out information about how you I kind of know how you set the air gap or determine what it is, but I don't know physically how it's set. What is it made of? How are the laminations actually separated, and how are they clamped back together? So I kind of poked around. I haven't found anything on that yet. I did go over and I started reading Patrick's website on choke specifically. He has 3 pages of choke examples there, as well as how to test your choke once you get it done and set the air gap. So I ran into that a little bit tonight around 8 o'clock. I'll pick that up when I get back. I'm going to mount this rack up on the ceiling as well. So the next time you see me, we will be having an overhead camera. I also have up on the bench here, this is AJ's GA15. It's a Gibson 1966 amplifier that's got an EL84 push-pull output stage. I worked on this a while ago, and when he came over to test it out, he cranked it up, to 10. Like all musicians do, and he started playing it, and it was really like breaking up, like not breaking up like you want it to, but it was just, it has some additional problems. I think when I was testing this earlier, I did it in the middle of the night, and I didn't want to wake my wife, so I didn't do that. I didn't run it that hard, but AJ did, and it was a fail on my part in my diagnosis as well as my testing. We'll go ahead and pull this amplifier back out again, figure out what's going on with that. I'll write a little bit, I'll record something about it as well, and we'll go from there. I'm going to be out of town this whole week. I'll be back next week, a week from tomorrow, which is Monday. I think that's the 29th or something like that. I'll take some reading with me, and we'll pick it up again in a week. This is the Valve Studio for March the 20th, 2016. Thanks for watching. Yeah, try to get it to be consistent and show me what you're doing.
That?
Yeah. Hold on, let me see what we're settings on over here.
I noticed some of these gingerly kind
Alright, well, I'll see what I can do about that.
But when you really kind of overdrive it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you increase the.
So that's all the way up over there?
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good.
Interesting.
Yeah.